Hello again, folks. DJ here again. Nice to see you all here again. Just wanted to talk to you about something that's been revealed just recently, in fact, a few hours ago, and it's what America's found in their solar power converters. So, Energy Secretary in Britain, Ed Miliband, also known as Mad Miliband, is facing urgent calls to temporarily put an embargo on renewable energy sources coming from China, as Chinese kill switches have been discovered hidden in American solar power farms. Now, Andrew Barry, he's the Conservative Party Shadow Energy Minister, has urged an immediate pause on the green energy programme to review whether UK solar plants are also at risk. Components found in the USA included cellular radios capable of switching off equipment remotely, raising serious concerns about the grid security. The components were discovered inside power inverters manufactured by, for now, unnamed Chinese companies. We can't get the names at the moment, which are crucial links between solar or wind farms and power systems. One source said that compromising such equipment would give Beijing the ability to inflict blackouts on the West, claiming it would create a built-in way to physically destroy the electricity supply grid. But China, they've dismissed the claims as political smear tactics, but the discovery has sounded alarm bells within US government and is likely to promote a similar scramble here in Britain. Party Conservative Shadow Energy Secretary Andrew, I told you his name a few moments ago and now suddenly it's gone. Why is that? Andrew, yes. He went on to say worrying revelations should spark serious concerns for Ed Miliband and called for an urgent investigation. He goes on to say, we are already aware of concerns being raised by our Ministry of Defence and the Security and Intelligence Services surrounding possible monitoring technology on Chinese-built wind turbines. But given the dominance of China in solar power, these developments are equally, if not even more worrying, he said, and added that Ed Miliband made in China a transition of clean power at the expense of everything else and is a threat to the national security. I don't think he means Ed Miliband's a threat to security. I think he means these power inverters. An industry source said British solar farms use inverters from various sources, including the Chinese, but also American, German and Israeli suppliers. Not so many, though, if they're honest. Most of them are made in China. But what are these converters? What are they? Well, power inverters are critical components in solar and wind power energy systems. They act as a vital link between renewable energy sources, wind and sun, and the wider electricity grid, converting the generated power into a usable form. The presence of these remotely controlled devices raises the possibility of potential vulnerabilities within our power grid. The core concern revolves around the possibility that these kill switches could be exploited to disrupt or disable even our energy production. One source cited in the report suggests that compromising these inverters could grant an hostile actor, such as the Chinese government, he's careful saying it, so I'm saying it carefully as well, the ability to trigger widespread blackouts, and this capability is seen as a severe threat, potentially creating a built-in way to physically destroy our grids, our electricity generating grids. Well, I said before, China's dismissed these allegations. There's But the discovery has triggered alarm bells within the US government, and lawmakers are now calling for immediate action to assess and mitigate the identified risks. Well, obviously, the implications of these findings extend beyond the United States. Chinese companies dominate the global market for power inverters, as well as other key components like batteries and solar panels. This widespread reliance on Chinese manufactured equipment, it's raised concerns about potential vulnerabilities in our and the Western world's energy infrastructure worldwide. According to the research in industry, Chinese firms account for a significant portion of the global solar power inverter market. The ability to remotely control even a fraction of this capacity could have devastating consequences. As one industry expert noted, the increasing reliance on these inverters means that Europe has effectively surrendered remote control of a vast portion of its electricity infrastructure. And Europe, I'm afraid, we're lumped in with Europe on this. He's talking about Britain as well. The potential for disruption is underscored by recent events such as the blackouts in Spain and Portugal, which are believed to have been initiated by a loss of relatively small amount of generation capacity. Relatively, but they were all blackouts for just a small generation. Imagine if they closed down the whole lot. In response to these revelations, utilities in the USA are reportedly preparing for potential restrictions on the use of Chinese-made equipment in critical grid infrastructure. This move echoes similar measures taken against Chinese telecom giant Huawei, that's spelled Huawei, Huawei, reflecting the growing concern about national security and reliance on Chinese technology. Well, I understand, and I think you will as well. We have stopped making our own in Britain. I'm talking about now, not just America or the West or the world. I'm talking about Britain. We've given up our manufacturing capacity. We were the world's leading industrial supplier of everything. Birmingham City, where I live about 30 odd miles away from the outskirts of Birmingham City, used to be known as the 1001 Trades, and made in Birmingham, made in England. But now we don't even get our power from, our power's from Chinese. Our steel is Indian, Chinese. All our businesses seem to have been sold off. All our industries seem to be sold off. Even our football clubs, they've been sold off to foreigners as well. We're no longer a British empire. We're no longer a British industry. We have sold it all off. We've sold our buildings off. There was a Thai lady who came to visit me a few years back now, but she was astonished. She said she couldn't understand in Thailand, foreigners cannot own businesses. They cannot own land. So if you go over there and you want a house, you rent an apartment, not a house. If you want a house and you rent well enough, you can get one on 30 years, and then you have to hand it back, or renew. You cannot own. And and she said, "Why have you sold everything?" I hadn't got an answer. Honestly. So I'm going to leave this one with you. Comments, please, about what you think about selling off our industry, and now having the Chinese could possibly got kill switches on all our green energy that Ed Miliband, the Energy Secretary for the Labour government, is pushing so hard that we'll get rid of our coal fire and gas fire and generators to have wind, solar, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, does it? But perhaps you don't agree. So comments, please. Don't forget to subscribe, because it doesn't cost you a penny, not even a cent. It doesn't even cost you a rupee. It's totally free to subscribe. So why not subscribe to this channel? And it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me. So please subscribe and press that like button as well, please. So until the next one, be safe, be good, and goodbye from DJ.